Hey there, folks. My name is Shook, and welcome to Morph Girl. Now, I've had some sinus trouble here for the last few days, last 2 or 3 days, so my voice feels like it's a bit different, maybe a bit deeper, which might be good. I don't know. So if it sounds weird, that's why. Um, if you see me cough or laugh, and it looks like I'm in pain, it's because I've been sneezing so much that that the muscles are sore. So yeah, and hopefully there won't be too much sniffling, or anything like that. Uh, but anyway, yeah, I want to play this game. I've had this game for the last 4 or 5 days. I was looking around on Steam for horror games, different type of horror games, and I saw this. I was like, wow, I have to play this. Actually, excuse me, I actually bought it. Like just bought it. It was $4. So that's about the price that a game needs to be for me to make an impulse decision like that. But yeah, I was like, I have to play this. So hopefully the video is gonna look okay. Had to record it a little bit differently. I record through OBS, so I had to go window capture instead of game capture. So hopefully that's gonna be okay. If there's any errors with it, hopefully I can catch it to be able to fix it. But anyway, let's get on with it. Yeah, this is an FMV horror game that's got inspirations from like The Ring and Grudge. Seems like there's a girl with long hair, that covers her face. That's it's a horrible, scary thing. Which honestly, since I guess I should agree with, since The Ring actually did scare me some. I had a TV that quit working that I just had laying in the floor, and I just while I was laying on the bed, I was just like, I can't see down there. I hope nothing's crawling out of it. So yeah, I'm going to assume that she would be confused with this digital, more like flat screen. She's like, "Whoa, I crawled out of that? How did I crawl out of that? That's confusing. Just technology." But anyway, let's get on with it. Morph Girl does not autosave. Okay, that should be fine. Oh, here's the. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Save. Okay, there it goes. That's confusing. The name of my save is Morph Girl does not autosave. Okay, so I see that when I loaded up, it was it said something about Toronto something, which is the name of a visual novel software, visual novel maker software. So this is what this was made with, apparently. Just weird from the screenshots. So I'm going to assume that the subtitles are going to be on here normally because there's subtitles in the game. That's what I was looking for, to set was subtitles, and they're going to be down here. Uh, down here where you see the text. Yeah, when visible, use it. Remember to save frequently and prior to important event search or decisions. Load these save files should you wish to revisit them. Okay. Yep. I think there's supposed to be multiple endings. I wonder how loud. I wonder if this is going to be too loud. Oh, Monday. Been watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia here lately. So that was making me think of their intro. Here, let me, in case I need it, let me go and get the volume mixer. Okay, yeah, you can't see it. Let me turn this down a little bit. My name is Elana Pierce. On Friday, it will have been a year since the death of my wife, Rebecca. Since then, my life has been one of tedium and monotonous routine. I work in an underpaid office job at a failing insurance company. That sucks. Sucks about her wife dying, too, obviously. I don't have any friends, and I rarely leave the house. And in just a few days, everything is going to change. Spoilers, sheesh. Rebecca was a writer. Oh, I actually clicked through this. This is interesting. Reluctance to find real work put strain on both our finances and our relationship. During an argument over our accumulating debt, Rebecca suffered a seizure. She was quickly diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. She died 9 months later. That sucks. Every day I watch her favorite movies, read her journals, and her short stories. What started out as a means to move on quickly became a routine that I couldn't escape. There is little to my life outside of what I have left of Rebecca. It's a cool idea that they used a visual novel creator to make a FMV game, but it's a cool hybrid. I'm already seeing that it's a pretty neat combination. I very quickly began to underperform at work. My boss was very understanding, but as the company started to lose money, coworkers began to resent me for the work I could not do. I was quickly relegated to my own office. Coworkers make hateful comments and drop hints about my supposed job security whenever I talk to them. I try not to talk to anybody. What was that about? It's cool that this is actually a modern game. Uh, like a modern setting, but it's done like in the black and white style. Or black and sort of black and white. You know, there's a bit of a reddish tinge. People tell me that I need to move on and get over Rebecca's death. I don't want to. I can't. So I won't. It's been 5 months since Rebecca was diagnosed. Breathing is becoming difficult for her. Movement is almost Herculean task now. While her doctors say we still have options, Rebecca is beginning to refuse further treatment. She wants to travel. Oh, I actually select that. Interesting. She wants to travel the world before she dies. See all that she can while she can. She's giving up. I don't want her to. Understandable. Both instances understandable. She's tired. Too tired for optimism. Too tired for treatment. She's tired of living. We argue constantly over the continuation of her treatment. She only has months left if she doesn't. She's getting visibly weaker with every passing day. She can barely walk, let alone travel the world. It would kill her. Rebecca knows all this. She doesn't want to be miserable anymore. She wants the both of us to spend the rest of her life in some exotic country, to elope from the treatment with money we do not have. But time she doesn't have. Oh, I can't actually save this. A lot of visual novels will let you save at the option. What are we lying about? That she has more time? I mean, I'm assuming she's been there, that she's been present with the doctor, so. Lying doesn't seem like a good idea in general, so I guess beg for treatment? I beg Rebecca to stop talking as though she's going to die. What starts as a heartfelt plea rapidly turns into me screaming and shouting at her. I tell her that we can't afford to travel and she can hardly walk, that she's stupid for thinking we could do anything other than try to get her better. Rebecca quietly agrees to further treatment. It doesn't work. Rebecca only continues to worsen, and we are soon out of options. Rebecca can no longer walk or breathe by herself. She often cries, frequently wishing that we could be on a beach somewhere in the Caribbean. I feel guilty. Yeah, I would too. I'm not saying, I wouldn't do anything different. I'm just saying I would feel guilty too. I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd yell. Like she said she did, but yeah. Just a few days until the anniversary of Rebecca's death. I'm not ready for it. Okay. Tuesday. Every day goes by the same as the last. Oh, okay. I don't know if it's guilt, loyalty, or just fear that compels me to stay put. Luckily, Rebecca wasn't a fan of any more modern movies like the Avengers. Otherwise, it would be hard to get the rights to those movies. How can I have happiness when I denied her the same? There's a change we've already made. Okay. Lying doesn't seem like a good idea, though. I didn't know what we were lying about exactly either. Rebecca wants me to read some of her book, on account that I never have before. I've always condemned her choice to focus on writing as opposed to pursuing legitimate employment. Wow. Now that's not good. I mean, as someone who is a writer of sorts, as in I have written in the past, there have been times that I have written and wanted to pursue it as a passion, as a passion, as a potential career. That didn't work. I think I've sold maybe like 15 on Amazon. That would not feel good, I would say, for a partner not to condemn that sort of thing, to not support it, so yeah, don't agree with her on that, By the way, I haven't written in like 6 years. 5 or 6 years. Probably over, maybe 7 by now. I honestly can't remember when I did it last. Uh, her writing has always been a source of major contention between us. She wants to know what I think of it. Before that's no longer possible. Of course, of course, I was working, at Toys R Us and then Dick's Sporting Goods while I was writing. So I was. I mean, it wasn't making a lot of money, but it was. I was working. So that I guess is a little different. I don't know what to say. She's desperate for me to read it, despite prior altercations. This makes me feel angry and a little bit guilty. Despite everything, she still insists that her writing career is important to her. The very pursuit that has jeopardized our home financial security and our marriage for years. I don't want to encourage her, but it's her passion. Let's not be an asshole about it. This freaking. We're not even saying we're going to read. We're not even. I was going to say we're not even saying we're going to read it, but we are saying we're going to read it. We're not saying that we. I have a feeling we're not going to actually read it. We're just saying that we will. I was having a really hard time getting the sequence of words correct there. I tell Rebecca that I will read it. It's a collection of short horror stories. I finished them all in just a few days. They're good, really good. Rebecca's university grades were relatively poor, but she was always highly regarded for her fiction writing. She's really talented. I feel guilty. Probably should. Only now that she's dying have I even bothered to read any of her work. All these years I've kept Rebecca from her writing aspirations. Now she really may never reach them. When she asked if I'd read it, I'm too embarrassed, ashamed to admit any of this to her. I tell her that I've been too busy. She never asks again. Oh, just tell her they were good. Dadgummit. I often think that I would do anything to get Rebecca back. Would I? Okay. We're going through the days pretty fast. I refuse to get on with my life, and yet I still expect it to change. It's almost as though I were waiting for something. If we say with those shots, I'm guessing something's about to happen. Now you actually, since I'm doing it in window capture, you can actually see when I get achievements. It's been 2 months since the diagnosis. Rebecca is exhausted from chemotherapy, sick of both the side effects and its administration. She doesn't like her doctor or any of her nurses. She hates the hospital and is very outspoken about how much she doesn't want to be around real cancer patients. What? Rebecca doesn't want to feel unable. She's restless and very much in denial. Okay. It's Friday night. Rebecca wants to go out with her friends. I tell her that I don't think it's a good idea for her to be exerting herself so soon after therapy. I need this, she says. I'm scared that this will be too much for Rebecca, but I can't keep her from living her life. Okay, her ghost is already apparently showing up, so let's not try to antagonize it any more than what we might have already done by saying that we wouldn't that we didn't read it. We were too busy, and that and pissed her off about not traveling. Let's give her like a little dose of something, so maybe she won't try to kill us as bad. I'm saying she's probably. I'm saying she's trying to kill us. I don't know. She might be. She might wind up showing up in this game just for a hug. I don't know. Let's let her go. I tell Rebecca to have fun. I worry all night, but refrain from calling. At around midnight, Rebecca comes home early. I pretend to be asleep. She's wheezing. Uh, in the morning, I ask Rebecca about her night. She says it was a little too much for her, but she's glad that she went. Thank you. Okay, good. We got some good cred going now with the ghost. It may not even be her ghost. I don't know. I guess it'd be the assumption though. It is close to the anniversary, and didn't seem like she wanted to wake up there. Whoa, it's actually telling me to save. It's like, yo, save the game here. There's a dog like right over her shoulder. I'm assuming a picture of a dog. Oh, am I supposed to be doing something? Oh, what is that? I think I see something by the bath plug. Is something leaking? It doesn't look like water. Should I go in? Yeah, go in. Yeah, that's what we saw last time. It's very thick in consistency, almost as though it's oozing out of the plumbing as opposed to dripping or leaking. It looks black. Or maybe red? I don't know. I don't know what it could be. But it seems to be coming out of the shower head. Ew. Ew. Apparently the shower had a bit of a nosebleed. I don't know what was in the bath, but whatever it is, I need to forget about it. Okay, so I was watching. I mentioned earlier that I've been watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia, so I'm going to blame them for this because I watched the one where. Did I just hear a creak? Watched the one where they were at the water park and Frank was saying that he had AIDS to get to the front of the line. They're always showing like blood and stuff, like exactly like that. Showers bleeding, walls bleeding, stuff like that. If they did have something that was contagious like that, would the ghost be able to give it to you? Would that possibly be the true horror of a horror game? Of course, in this instance, it wouldn't make sense since they were married. If that was the case, I'm sure she would have already had that checked. But that's something that's never been addressed in any any sort of horror game or movie. I don't think. I don't think it has been. Like in The Shining. There's that whole thing of like blood coming. like through the hallways, you know. Although that may not have been real. It's been quite a while since I watched The Shining. I think that may have just been like a vision thing, you know. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. Pretty dark thoughts. You can't be thinking about this right now. Well, you should. You probably should. Not this week. If your shower is leaking dark or red stuff, you should get that checked out by a plumber. Have some time before I leave for work. I can collect myself in the living room. I can pretend that everything is all right. It isn't. Oh. Oh, wow, we're getting options now. Well, let's look through these photos. Photos of me and Rebecca on the day we moved in. We probably shouldn't have moved into a house with such an expensive rent, but Rebecca wouldn't stop talking about kids. So Rebecca was set on living in the city. She also thought we'd need the extra space. I think we would have been good parents. Okay, don't actually see the pictures. Now let's look at the notebook. It's one of the notebooks Rebecca used to write her stories in. Oh, wow. Okay. Typical, this is named Come With Us. Typical, that's the best way Jane could have described the night. The moon was out, lighting the room in a dull, familiar glow. The air was still, peaceful. It was perfect conditions for sleeping. Meanie would agree with her, except the typical night had been disturbed in the most atypical way Jane could have ever imagined. Jane squirmed in the corner of her bed. She pressed herself against the headboard and the wall, hugging her knees. I just see. Oh, I think that's the TV on in the background, isn't it? Yeah, that's the TV. I saw it moving. You know what I feel bad for? I feel bad for the actress here. She's like, say again, I'm going to have to. Okay, I bet it just reset itself. Okay. I was going to say, she's probably like, I have to sit here reading this book like this for how long? You know, especially for the slow readers out there, the Let's Players, possibly, who who are gonna be yakking about this stuff. But okay, it's good. They gave her a break. You know that they didn't make her stand there for like 15 minutes for coverage. You know, holding a book like that. Anyway, most of all, she was trembling. It wasn't every night that you wake to find an expressionless child standing at the end of your bed, after all. Agreed. Just every other night. The main question on Jane's mind was why? Why her? Why tonight? Why a child? Jane never thought of herself as particularly special. Surely this was only happened to those who warranted it. The weird and wonderful. Not someone like her. Okay. Sounds like she's like thing that's kind of like a good thing. Normal, that's the best way Jane could describe herself. Her name was Jane Audrey Phillips, named after her two grandmothers, naturally. She had brown shoulder-length hair. It was practical. Brown eyes like her father. She wasn't particularly tall, neither particularly short. She did well at school. It led to a job that paid her bills. She neither liked her job, nor did she dislike it. She had often thought she was a very neutral person. She didn't think very much of anything. Not that she wasn't happy. She was in a calm, contented way. She got on with things much like herself. The day could also be described as normal. She woke 3 minutes before her alarm, as she usually did, ate a reluctant breakfast, and headed to work. Work was average. Papers needed filing. Reports needed writing. Minimal conversation and a sticky R key on her laptop. Returning home, leftovers for dinner, calling her mum. Okay, it's British, gotcha. Um, it was a routine she'd had for years. She went to bed on time and fell asleep in a timely manner. Nothing indicated anything odd should happen to her at all. And yet, there the child stood at the end of her bed in her room. Uh, it was a girl. She was wearing a white nightgown reminiscent of times far gone. It had long and wavering dark hair. Its face was pale and eyes were dark. Felt like something was different at that time. It made Jane uncomfortable to think of the strange specter as a girl, so she didn't. A young girl wouldn't find herself in a stranger's room in the middle of the night. This was not a young girl. That was all Jane could figure out. The woman had already tried asking it for information, but it wouldn't speak. It didn't react at all. It just stared at her. There was a chill on her spine. She was desperately trying to ignore, almost as if someone was slowly dragging an icicle up her back. She pressed herself harder against the wall. The sensation didn't cease. Finally, the child parted its pale lips. Though this was once the outcome Jane was hoping for, somehow it only terrified her more. She shrunk further into the bed. She was shivering. "Come with us." I'm going to assume it's how she said it, how the little girl said it. Jane sucked in her breath as the child spoke. Its voice was small and soft. Oh, well, never mind. It was completely different than the way I said it. It sounded like a little girl. "Come with us." It almost left Jane less afraid. Almost, but the eyes were dark, so dark, and the stare was so intense. Jane desperately wanted to look away or close her eyes, but she daren't. The woman was terrified if she broke eye contact, the child would do something. She couldn't know what. The knees only grew. The child's face remained blank as it stared, though its head tilted to the side. It was almost cute. Only almost. Jane suddenly realized it was waiting for a response. The woman released her breath. She didn't realize she was holding. "Where?" Her voice wobbled as she spoke, her lip left trembling. The child shook its head a little, its dark hair shuffling over its chest. "Come with us." I'd be like, "Nah, I got stuff to do. Video games to play. I'm good. You go on. You find somebody else. You can find somebody else. No, I'm good. You don't want me. I'm boring. I'm boring. You don't want me to come with you. I look boring. I'll put you to sleep. Like most of you are right now." Okay. Interesting. Films. Rebecca's a collection of horror movies. Well, some of them.
Let me die. Let me die.
The Brain That Wouldn't Die. I used to like this one. The film is about a mad scientist who manages to keep a woman's severed head alive for several days. Wow. The woman begs for him to let her die. Unsurprisingly, I no longer care for it. Oh, wow. I think you can actually watch the entire movie, I think. I glanced at the achievements, and it said watch a movie. There's like 2 movies you can watch. I think you watch them in full for the achievements, which is funny. We're not gonna do that in the series, but that would be interesting. Just me commenting over an old movie. Okay, I guess we leave. Let's save the game here. Well, we read a scary story, so hopefully we feel calmer. Please finish report by end of tomorrow. Maybe you'd be happier working somewhere else. Wow. Passive-aggressive comments certainly aren't uncommon around here, but I don't think I can put this report off any longer. I'll do the bulk of the work tomorrow. I can't do this right now. Excuse me, sorry about that. Is that a bathtub filling up with blood or water? You used to take comfort in working here after Rebecca's death. I could pretend that she was at home waiting for me, just like before. A small part of me really believed that she would be. I'm guessing she will be. Yeah, I'm assuming this is her ghost. I mean, who else's ghost would it be, you know? Ew. Ew. Whatever was leaking has now completely filled the bath. That's why you should call a plumber. It looks like blood. I need to call somebody over to fix this. I don't want to. I don't want to have to deal with any of this. I can't deal with this. Not today. Not this week. Not anymore. Okay. What does it say? Yeah, by the title of the things, you don't really tell what option you're at. Let's call. Calling would be the logical thing to do, honestly. Tell them about the bath, how it looks as though it's filled with blood. As expected, they don't believe me. They can't send anybody over until Monday. Wow. I'm expected to live with a bath full of this for 3 days? Great. Surprised they don't call the cops to, you know, like, she got a bathtub full of blood? Might sort of, that seems like an issue for authorities. Uh-oh. Something's about that. Whoa. Okay, I saw this in this screenshots on Steam. Stay attached to stay covering. Stay covering. Keep this YouTube friendly. Okay, good. It stayed YouTube friendly. YouTube friendly. Yes. I don't have to try to worry about like moving. I was gonna say motion blurs, but keeping the blurs moving. Okay. By the way, I was too happy that it wasn't going to be me having to worry about having to censor it to take in like the ooh spooky. Of course, I mean not that it would be the scariest thing, but I mean, well, like I said, I looked at the Steam screenshots and I saw an image of, you know, boobs being covered by hair in a bathtub. That's one thing that I was getting a little worried about, you know. Not that I've got anything against, you know, seeing boobs. I just don't I don't have to worry about well, I could censor it, but in like a moving form that would be a bit difficult, you know. Rebecca always insisted on living in the city. It's expensive. We could only afford a small house. It's overpriced, ugly, and the landlord is a bitch. Were we to live anywhere else, this place would be a fraction of the rent I pay for it. Hmm. I think I see what she did there. I can get us somewhere bigger. Maybe then we could afford what Rebecca needs for recovery. I want to move. Making sure that Rebecca gets better as fast as possible is more important to me. But Rebecca insists that we stay. She says that the city is her home, that she doesn't want to leave our memories behind. It's a terrible place. We could save money. Well, I guess let Rebecca stay. Again, let's get more favor on her side, so that she'll be less likely to kill us. Also, I'm assuming that's what happens anyway, because we're still in the we're. I'm assuming we're in the place where we were. Yeah, I'm assuming that. I'm assuming that where we are in the present is where we lived with her. I reluctantly let her stay. She insists that she'll recover without the extra equipment. We spend the evening reminiscing about the horrible state that the house was on the day we first moved in. Rebecca did a really good job on it. She's proud. We get an urgent call from about test results that day. Rebecca plays our wedding music in the car as we drive to the hospital. She sings along very loudly. She's trying to be positive. She's trying to make me smile. It's not good news. She's dying. It's terminal. I can't smile anymore. Okay. So we already went through 4 days. Uh-oh. We got choices. I had to make a choice. I think I heard something break in the kitchen. And that's going to be the end of this first episode. It's not going to, make it... I saved it, so it won't be an issue. Anyway, I do hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. If you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. I'm going to be finishing this game, especially since it seems like it's definitely going to be YouTube safe. So far, I'm going to finish the game before I put up the first episode, just in case. So, if you're not hearing this, then I wasn't able to put it up at all. It wasn't YouTube friendly after all. But if it was, then yeah, you're hearing this now. So anyway, I do hope you guys enjoyed. I like this game. It's pretty cool so far. I'm intrigued to see what all else happens. Later there, folks.